Well, it's the 5th of November, and of course, it's voting day. So, everyone and, well, their grandmother today is probably going to be talking about the US election. And it does look like so far that Harris is going to win. He says, touch words, fingers crossed, all that jazz. Um, Especially as it does look like the because the Republicans overturned Roe v. Wade, does look like the American voting public, especially women voters, are turning out in droves. And it would not surprise me if this vote, or at least this election, that is what really damages them going forward. Not only just here in this election, but potentially other state elections. And it is potentially going to be fun to watch maybe the Republicans over the next couple of years really start to walk back on their anti-abortion stance. However, the big, of course, question here is, will the Republicans, and we sort of touched on this briefly in a couple of videos we made recently, but can the Republicans actually ever get rid of Trump? Like, is there a possibility they could generally actually ever get rid of him? And I sort of have two scenarios as to how potentially this could happen. But once again, you have a scenario where the Republicans could absolutely get rid of Donald Trump 100% completely and flush the party from all his, MAGA weirdos as well. Could absolutely do that if they take the opportunity to do so. However, we have seen in previous examples, they just haven't even dared go near it because they felt he was still far too strong in the party. And to some extent, those arguments were right. However, you now have Trump with a string potential of election losses and election losing reasons. He's the main reason in the party, like why you are losing all these. How long do you think the Republicans are really going to tolerate the rest of not only this Trump stuff, but the MAGA movement? So I've got two scenarios potentially the way I think this could go down. But before we do get into those scenarios, please do remember to click on the like, the share button, and of course, comment down below. Let me know what you think. And of course, there are the Patreon page down below as well, the Buy Me Coffee link where you can buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course, there's the YouTube thank you button as well. I've already just said that. And of course, there's the Pony Club down below as well. So, as always, let's crack on then into this. So, I've got two ways this could happen. Two big ways this could happen. The first, I would say, is the quick way. And the quick way is going to be that in the lead up to this election, Donald Trump pretty much drained the finances of the Republican Party to use that money in order to defend himself, to use in all of these criminal trials. Now, they tried to close off that gap. You even saw big Republican donors refuse to give money because they did not want it going to some, Trump defense like fund or into that, being taken from what was meant to be put into like, getting Republicans elected, but it went to, defending Donald Trump. So you saw that immediately happen. And as we said at the beginning, you've now got this very, very clear path of continuous losses by Donald Trump from 2020 to what was meant to be the big Republican red wave in 2022. That did not materialize to now potentially, and again, we hope tomorrow we'll probably find out, but this big loss again in 2024. And that is absolutely undoubtable. And I can guarantee you as well, lots of people, just as we saw our own election very recently, are going to start digging into all the data, all the stuff that was going on, what lost this election for the Republicans. I can guarantee you two things are going to emerge. First of all, Roe v. Wade. as a primary reason why they lost, but also I think Trump. Like I generally think it will be Trump. I think the gig's up. I think he's just lost too much and he's exposed himself just one too many times on that way. So there is a opportunity where you could have not only the donors align, but also the quote sensible Republicans say, right, enough is enough of this stuff. He has a complete and utter terrible track record. Um, yeah, we're kicking him and his ilk out of the party, out into the political wilderness. That is where they belong. They're going to be kept very much on the fringes of the party. We're not going to empower them anymore. We're going to depower them. We're going to try and maybe get things back on track. Could that happen? It would certainly cause a civil war in the party. Like, absolutely, it would kick off a full scale blown like Republican civil war. I think that is could happen, but you'd have to have Republicans be prepared to take on Donald Trump. And there have been very, very few Republicans, bar Chris Christie, Nikki Haley initially before she decided to turn around and bend the knee, which tends to be what happens. They're all these anti-Trump Republicans, but then they lose, and then of course they turn around and bend the knee. How many more? And maybe Republicans going to stop doing that. Just stop bending the knee and just start saying, no, he's a loser. He's a loser. He's a weirdo. He's destroying the party. Does that then become the rallying call, right? And does it happen a lot quicker than maybe we suspect? Because maybe if Trump does, as I highly suspect, start to call into question the result of these of the election, does the Republican Party then also go, actually, no, goodbye, and just walk away from him? Again, one potential scenario. But I do think there's another scenario that could happen. I think this is what they're really waiting for, and this is the long-term game plan. Because you still have, of course, a lot of those MAGA supporters. You've got a lot of those, even MAGA Republicans, still very, very much so in the party. But of course, they are all being led by Donald Trump. They are singing from his hymn sheet. It is very, very much a cult of personality. And how do you kill a cult of personality? Well, they have to get rid of the personality. And remember, Donald Trump, as we have clearly seen on this campaign trail, isn't exactly the best when it comes to this. People say, "Oh, Biden was bad at cognitive decline." Yeah, I'm sorry, but Trump on this campaign trail, um, I think he's coming off far worse than Biden ever did on any of those bad moments that anyone can sort of pick of, like Joe Biden doing bad. I think Trump has been far, far worse. Far worse. So there is every chance and opportunity that give it a year or two and, maybe he has a heart attack, maybe it's just one Big Mac too many because he's not in the best of health. And then, without Trump gone, field open. All those, MAGA lunatics are going to start tearing themselves apart because, after all, as normal with these cults of personalities, when the personality goes, they start infighting because someone has got to be a new leader. And trust me, they all think that they are all like Trump's true appointed successor here. So make no mistake on that. They will start infighting, and maybe that's what some of the Republicans are generally sort of waiting for Trump to, just have that one, Big Mac too many. But again, possibility could be what they're waiting for. But of course, we won't know what happens. Like I say, I think tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day. I don't think the results are going to be out straight away. And of course, you're going to see Donald Trump, denying the elections results. Of course he is. He's not going to concede. He'll accuse the Democrats of foul play. He'll say Harris cheated or whatever. Of course he is. He's Trump. He's already teeing everything up for it. Um, but we'll see what happens. Things could get very interesting this week, maybe. And then, of course, roll around January for the vote counting and inauguration. May we see another January the 6th type event? I think this time, though, the Capitol Police are going to be a lot more prepared. But as always, let me know what you think down below. Do you have your own theory about how maybe the Republicans could get rid of Trump? Do you think I'm right in one of these two theories, or do you have your own about maybe how this could happen? Be very interested to hear what you think on this. So, like I say, leave a comment down below, hit the like, hit the share button, and of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.